We're so excited to be gathering here despite the chilly weather, to celebrate Hanukkah. And for those who might not be familiar with our congregation, we are my name's Lenore, and I serve the congregation as the Director of Lifespan Faith Development. And we are a pluralistic congregation. We have folks who are celebrating many, many holidays this December. And for our Jewish UUs and those in interfaith families and those who are curious about learning a little bit more, we thought it would be lovely to have a program of Hanukkah music that coincides with this Friday. So we're delighted to welcome Maren Morgan and Diane Toigo here to share their musical gifts. And our drummer, Tim. Reverend Israel, I think you are ready to light our chalice and our menorah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Reverend Israel. You see him for pronouns, and I'm the minister of this congregation. We're going to light our chalice in just a second, but on this night, the sixth night of Hanukkah, I just want to reflect for a moment on the meaning of the chalice as we light it. And in mystical Jewish tradition, it says that when the world was created, the creator, the divine source, broke itself open with divine light into the world, like millions and billions of shards of light breaking open into the world and scattering all around. And it is the job, it is the spiritual, it is the spiritual journey of humans, of people, of creatures on this planet, in this earth, to find those pieces of light and to pick them all up one by one. And that is the spiritual journey, is finding those pieces of light scattered throughout the world amongst us and within us as well. And so tonight when we light our chalice, which is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, it's a reminder that light has many sources, and there are many ways of knowing and being spiritual, many ways of understanding truth and what is divine in this world. And so as we light our chalice, I just invite you to reflect on that. And as I light the menorah, Maren is going to sing the traditional blessing for the menorah for us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotov, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavotinu bayamim ha'im basman hazeh. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And to understand Hanukkah, we have to understand a little bit of history. It starts before the menorah. The Jews were subjugated. They were being ruled by a king who was not of the Jewish religion. His name was Antiochus. And he said, okay, you can live here, Jews, but you can't have your religion. And they were not happy about that. So a group of grown-ups called the Maccabees took them to war, and they won. So I have a song, and I need your help. I'm going to ask you questions, and then I need you to answer. May I have a B-flat minor chord? Give it up for Diane!
Give it up for B-flat minor.
So I'll ask a question, and I'll ask you to tell me, please. And what I would like you to answer is, we know the Maccabees. So let's practice. We know the Maccabees. All right, are you ready? Who fought Antiochus? Tell me, please. We know the Maccabees. Who was so strong and brave? Tell me, please. We know the Maccabees? Who won the battle? Tell me, please. We know the Maccabees. Who saved the temple? Tell me, please. We know the Maccabees. Who gave us Hanukkah? Tell me, please. We know the Maccabees. Okay, who gave us Hanukkah? Who gave? We know the Maccabees. Tell me, please. We know the Maccabees. We're not a wax candle. That's oil feeding the fire. And they needed a supply that would last for 8 days, because that's how long it took to make up the next batch. But there was only enough oil that would last 1 day, and it was kind of scary to them. But they asked for a miracle, and they got it. The oil lasted for 8 days. And so during the holiday of Hanukkah, all over the world, we light menorahs with 8 candles, and the middle one is the helper candle, so there's really 9. We do this to remember this miracle. That's why people light menorahs in their homes. Because it's the 6th night of Hanukkah, I'm going to sing one verse of this song. In the window where you can send your glow from my menorah, newly fallen snow, I will set you 6 little candles on this, the 6th night of Hanukkah. All right, now it's dance and march time. Light the menorah, it's Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. Light the menorah, say the blessings every night. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. Add a new candle every night. Light them for all to see. Sing special blessings and sweet songs. Now please sing along with me. Light the menorah, it's Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. Light the menorah, it's Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. Add a new candle every night. Light them for all to see. Sing special blessings and sweet songs. Now please sing along with me. Light the menorah, it's Hanukkah, it's Hanukkah. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. Light the menorah, say the blessings every night. Light the menorah when Hanukkah is here. All right. You did a great job. I want you to look at your neighbor and give them a thumbs up. Well, you may have heard about dreidels being connected with this holiday. So the dreidel is more than a game. It was a game with a secret. Because while Antiochus was ruling and not letting the Jews have their religion, they still wanted to learn about their religion. So they'd go into caves, like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts going into caves in the woods. And they would learn the language that was important to their religion, which was Hebrew. But if the Greek and Syrian soldiers found them, they would quickly pull out these tops that have a few Hebrew letters on and spin them. And so they tried to fool their enemies by saying, well, we're just playing. This isn't school, we're just playing. And it worked. So that is why we still play with dreidels to this day. This is a song that I expect many of the children and many of the adults know. I Have a Little Dreidel. Again, a foot-tapping song. And Diane, our accordion aficionado, is going to just delight her soul in ours. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin, and when it is all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when I'm dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Take it, Diane! My dreidel's always playful, it loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel, come play now, let's begin. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Again, oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I will play. Oh yeah. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are singing, the candles are burning low, and they really are. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, a time to remember, a holiday, a jolly day that comes in December. Spin the whirling dreidel all week long, tell the age-old story, sing a happy song, and nightly, so brightly, the candles of Hanukkah glow, shining with glory, telling the story, the wonders of long, long ago. Yes! Shining with glory, telling the story, the wonders of long, long ago. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are singing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hey! Woo!
My pronouns are she, her. I'm so glad to be here with all of you. It's been a great night so far. This is one of my favorite Hanukkah books. I actually read this at UUCL a few years ago in one of our spirit play classrooms, so it's very exciting to be reading it again for everybody. All right, it is I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Dreidel. So if you know the book, there was an old lady who swallowed a fly. It's like that. It's by Karen Yakowitz. The illustrations are by David Slonim. So here we go. I know an old lady who swallowed a dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a bagel.
Oh, you should let us guess the line.
Perhaps it's fatal. I know an old lady who swallowed some oil, a pitcher of oil, about ready to boil. And she swallowed the oil to wash down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a bagel. Perhaps it's bagel. I know an old lady who swallowed some latkes, 5 platters of latkes, hot from the pakas. She swallowed the latkes to fry in the oil that bubbled and tumbled about ready to boil, and she swallowed the oil to wash down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a bagel. Perhaps it's bagel. I know an old lady who swallowed some sauce, some smooth applesauce that she drowned in a toss. And she swallowed the sauce to sweeten the latkes, and she swallowed the latkes to fry in the oil that bubbled and tumbled about ready to boil. And she swallowed the oil to wash down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel that she thought was a bagel. Perhaps it's bagel. I know an old lady who swallowed a brisket, a 20-ton brisket. She thought she could risk it, and she swallowed the brisket to soak in the... Anyone remember?
Sauce.
She swallowed the sauce to sweeten the latkes, and she swallowed the latkes to fry in the oil that bubbled and tumbled about ready to boil. She swallowed the oil to wash down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a bagel. Perhaps it's bagel. I know an old lady who swallowed some gout, a mindful of gout before it could melt. And she swallowed the gout to follow the brisket. She swallowed the brisket to soak in the sauce. She swallowed the sauce to sweeten the latkes. She swallowed the latkes to fry in the oil that bubbled and tumbled about ready to boil. And she swallowed the oil to wash down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a bagel. Perhaps it's bagel. I know an old lady who swallowed a menorah. A mountainous menorah. Well, we danced the hora, and she swallowed the menorah that stood near the gout, and she swallowed the gout to follow the brisket, and she swallowed the brisket to soak in the sauce, and she swallowed the sauce to sweeten the latkes, and she swallowed the latkes to fry in the
Oil.
that bubbled and tumbled about ready to boil. And she swallowed the oil to wash down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a bagel. Perhaps it's bagel. I know an old lady who swallowed some candles. 8 skyscraping candles were all she could handle. And she swallowed the candles that lit the menorah, that stood near the gout, that followed the brisket, that soaked in the sauce, that sweetened the latkes, that fried in the oil, that washed down the dreidel, a Hanukkah dreidel she thought was a
bagel.
Perhaps it wasn't fatal. And that is the end. Thank you for listening to the story.
Thank you, Joanna.
This song coming up is one I didn't know and learned, and it reminds me of a lot of good jazz tunes, but it tells you about the miracle of Hanukkah. I will tell you the story of a miracle, of a lamp that burned so bright, the wonderful story of Hanukkah, and of things that turned out so bright. It's a miracle of Hanukkah, It's a miracle of Hanukkah. This is what it's all about. The lamp was defiled, all the folks were going wild, 'cause they couldn't light that freedom lamp. Till Judah Maccabeus, the man who came to free us, found a bit of oil for that lamp. It's a miracle of Hanukkah, the little lamp that wouldn't go out. It's a miracle of Hanukkah. This is what it's all about. The little bit of oil, how long could it spark? A day or two at most, and then it would be dark. But it burned, and it burned for 8 whole days. Praise the Lord and his wonderful ways. It's a miracle of Hanukkah, the little lamp that wouldn't go out. It's a miracle of Hanukkah. This is what it's all about. The little lamp that shed its rays glowed and glowed for 8 whole days, bathed us all in freedom's light. Praise the Lord by day and night. That's called a fermata. It's a miracle of Hanukkah, the little lamp that wouldn't go out. It's a miracle of Hanukkah, a miracle of Hanukkah.
Sing it more!
I like this song. And Lenore, do you have things you want to say? Or
Passing out the while helpers are passing out the sheet music. Diane, we've got it. Yeah. Wanted to say thank you to everybody who came tonight. Thank you to our amazing performers. Yes. This last song, how many of you are fans of Peter, Paul, and Mary? Yeah. It's a UU and UU adjacent crowd, so I would expect no less. So unlike many of our people sharing gifts tonight, I didn't grow up with any Jewish heritage or celebrating holidays in my home, but I did grow up with Unitarian Universalist celebrations, and Peter, Paul, and Mary were sometimes part of that. And I have a memory to share before this piece, which is that right after the Summer of Hate, the December after the Summer of Hate in Charlottesville, my hometown, we gathered for a worship service to honor, in my home UU church, to honor Hanukkah, and the idea that despite a lot of opposition and hate and efforts to stamp out the light, people gathered in Charlottesville and around the country to not let the light go out. And that I just really love the holiday of Hanukkah for reminding us that Every generation has a responsibility to add more light to the world. So I hope that you can sing along to, especially the chorus, "Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our hope and our tears."
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Here's the chorus. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace. It's a song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears again. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Thank you, everybody, for making this just a beautiful night together.
At the end of that song, I will just say that I am going to extinguish the chalice, sending forth that you all bring this light with you out into the world for others to find it within you and through your actions.